You know, the only guy in the world that has been officially dubbed Philly's bad guy. Philly's bad guy. By the way, Britton Covey, I appreciate you more than you know for liking my tweet towards you making a 53-man roster and following me on Twitter and watching the show. We thank you so much. Everybody that's in here, we appreciate it. By the way, we got to start out by doing this. Big sales and our friends at BetUS, 4 hours here of the National Football Show with Big Sales is powered by our friends at BetUS. Absolutely. By the way, you know what's really remarkable? When you post a congratulatory comment like that towards Britton Covey for making a 53-man roster, automatically, how come you didn't? How come you didn't congratulate Johnny Wilson, you racist? And I'm going like, because Covey follows me, and me and him know Kyle Whittingham. He played for Kyle Whittingham, and we talk to one another back and forth. I don't have a relationship with Johnny Wilson. And the most important thing, he's a fucking Knoll. I'm not friends with Knowles. Sorry. He's a Knoll. So, whatever. Hit the like button. We appreciate y'all coming aboard here, man. Already, devastating news to the Philadelphia Eagles. Devastating news, at least financially. James Bradbury out 6 to 8 weeks, and you get to elevate the greatness of Orenthal Burks from the practice squad to the active roster. Wow. Woo, what a move. Hey, Orenthal Burks is now part of the active roster because, you know, as Xander dubbed it, the no holes defense. You know, you heard of the no-name defense? See, here at JAKIB, Xander has dubbed the Eagle defense the no-holes defense. So get ready for Green Bay in just a little bit over a week. Week from Friday, Packers, Eagles, Sao Paulo, Brazil. Oh, yeah. Hey, financially, what a disaster. What a disaster. I know. Orenthal Burks to the rescue. Hey, as Johnny McMullen would say, we have depth at linebacker now. We have depth in the secondary. Okay? Hey, we have depth. Well, at least they're guys. I get it. I mean, you know, you do have bodies there. I mean, 28 guys on defense as of today, at least, until we find out next Tuesday when the roster's set for the Green Bay game. How you doing? Holy cow. 6 to 8. James Bradbury is out, and you're paying the guy $11 million. Gotta love it. Big Marshall. Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean, safety. How you doing? Yeah, that guy looked good in this game against the fourth-team Minnesota Viking guys. He looked great. I saw a turnstile at Grand Central, you know? That turns just like Cooper DeJean did. Sills the Bradbury deal could not get any worse. Absolutely, Andre. This is a shit show with this thing. Get this. This guy says that Bradbury's irrelevant. $11 million is not irrelevant. You didn't cut him. You could have saved yourself $7 million. Instead, Howie was greedy with the cap. For him, the cap hit is more important than Jeffrey Lurie actually paying the guy $11 million. They're going to play him at safety, which he can't pay. And he can't play that position. Wait, he can't play safety. You're paying him 11, and now he's out 2 months. Okay. Hey, Grand Slam, Howie. General Manager of the Year. There you go. Let's be honest, Strawberry wasn't doing anything. How you doing? Hey, what a shitty deal. Holy cow, that Bradbury deal cannot get any worse. And you elevate Orenthal Burks. Get this. Charlie says he's irrelevant. So hey, Charlie, look at how dumb that comment by Charlie is. So you gave a roster seat and a roster position away to an irrelevant player. Is that right? So are you putting the best players on the team or not? Hey, Charlie, so you're saying Bradbury's irrelevant being part of the 53-man roster. So you gave a chair away and a seat away where you could have had a younger player or whomever that could have contributed to the team more. That's what you're saying? Howie hands out roster spots? He sure does. You know why? Howie didn't want to be made to look like a dick off that deal he signed Bradbury to. This is always about how he's looked at. Turns out the Bradbury deal now was a shitty deal. How come no one in the media fucking says that or asks him? Howie, if you had to redo the Bradbury deal over, how about a question like this to Howie one day? How about a question like this from our Philadelphia media? Howie, if you had to do the Bradbury deal all over again, would you do it? Well, that's hindsight. No shit. Would you do it? You never get questions like that. Be like some softball liberal interview that you're going to hear soon. Are you crazy? Ask the freaking question. Would you at least cut him now? Or would you have cut him this past April? Nobody pressed the guy for a guy on the football team that's the third highest paid player on defense. Get this. Gary says this is a stupid question. Do you regret giving him the contract or do you regret not cutting him in April? He says it's a stupid question. You know why? Because he doesn't want to hear the answer. Hey, Sills, guess whose birthday it is today? No idea. No idea. Dude, absolutely, Sam. That's why some of those guys are on that roster is because Howie doesn't like to be made to look bad. Get this. How on earth will we replace Bradbury? Dude, get this. You're totally missing the point. Why is he on the fucking team in the first place? You gave a roster spot and you have to make roster moves. Why didn't you go out in the offseason and get a better safety? If you were looking for a safety, how about go get a real safety? Why keep a guy who's a corner? Unless you don't believe Quinyon Williams is ready yet. Hey, Quinyon Mitchell's got to play corner now. Okay? Michael Irvin's birthday today? Make sure thank you for telling me. Thank you very much, Emmett. Get this. Here's the Bradbury deal. So you gave away a roster spot, which is the most important, to a player who can't play safety. Why didn't you sign a safety? Why didn't you sign a guy? Secondly, you're paying him $11 million. And you could have cut him. No, Howie doesn't want to take Howie would rather keep the $4 million cap non-hit to the salary cap and pay the guy 11 and have him as a backup. Dude, get this. Let's see. Huff and CJ and Slay. No, he makes more than Slay. No, Bradbury makes more than Slay. Bradbury's the third highest paid defensive football player. Here's your three highest paid defensive football players. An unknown Huff, an old man in Slay, and an injured Gardner Johnson. And then Bradbury. Look at who your top four players are paid on offense. Hurts, AJ, Devontae, Lane. Do you think there's a difference in talent? Look at remember when we say you're top heavy? Waiting on Sidney Brown, he won't be ready until 25. He's coming off a knee injury. Thank you, Emmanuel. Appreciate it. Okay? He's coming off a knee injury. Holy cow. Here's your highest paid defensive players. Think about it. Huff, Slay, Bradbury, and Gardner Johnson. Your offensive guys, Hurts, AJ, Devontae, and Lane. That's all you need to know about your roster. Okay? That's all you need to know about your roster. RC3, the greatest no-name defense in the history of the National Football League will be the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles. As Xander calls it, the no-holds defense. Like it. Get a hat and T-shirt made of that one. Especially when Green Bay drops 38 on you. You better hope they don't drop 45 on your ass. Hey, the no-holds defense going to give – if that no-holds defense in week 1 gives up 40, it gives up a 40 burger, we're going to have a problem here. You better hope you don't give up a 40 burger to Jordan Love and that team. How he fucked up. Didn't sign CJ, but Bradbury instead. So to avoid admission to bad choice, he's trying to cover it up. That's the real. Bradbury shouldn't even be on this team. Absolutely, my friend. Thank you, Big Marshall. Appreciate it, brother. You better hope Green Bay don't drop a 40 burger on you. How you doing? Oh, man. Hey, get this. In other news, Brazil is experiencing widespread fires. Hey, did you hear Devontae Smith about Brazil today? We're going to get to that in a minute. Let me move on. Did you see Devontae Smith talking about Brazil today? Holy shit, funny. We're going to get to the players. Hey, AJ talked. Britton Covey talked. Devontae Smith. I saw it also. We're going to talk about what Fred Johnson has done and how Jeff Stoutland has saved his career, which is so freaking cool. So freaking cool. You know, I really liked listening to AJ today. I did. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. We got a bunch of topics here. By the way, Xander at 3:30. Mark Farzetta will join us at 5:30 Eastern time. So please hit the like button here, guys. We so appreciate you coming aboard. I know you have so many other choices. And many of you, like LJ, come here each and every single day and post over 70 posts each and every single day. Prince helps us out a lot. Twiz, all of you. Andreas, thank you. I can't thank you guys enough for coming here each and every single day in support of Big Sills. Thank you very much. Look at this even. Here is post number 16 already. Early part of the show. We're only 17 minutes into the show. And LJ's keeping up with a post every minute. You can't get anything better than that. No other show gives you that interaction but right here on the National Football Show. You will get a post from a guy like LJ every freaking minute of every freaking hour because LJ helps the algorithm every day. Couldn't do it without your post of 780,000 in one season. You too, Twiz. How you doing? Fly, Eagle, fly, baby. We're all jacked up here. All right. We may have to bring things down to earth here now. we're going to start simple. We're going to start simple. Okay, hold on. This is what I love. Okay? Xander, this has been the mantra of my career by Dan. Dan and I don't see eye to eye like LJ and many of you. What's his name says, I'm over caffeinated. Tony, I'm Italian. And if you got a vowel at the end of your name, whether you're a Mexican, you're Puerto Rican, or you're Italian, you should know this by now. What is wrong with you? What are you talking about, Tony? Ultra Cowboy goes, Dan, is comedy. No, your front seven in Dallas is comedy. You guys want to know what comedy is? Watch that Cowboy front seven this year. I'll show you comedy. Hold on here. I was a hater, and you turned me into a fan. Got to admit it. Dan, that is a comment right there that doesn't mean Dan's going to agree with me. You understand that? That's not a comment where he says, hey, dude, you got me. Your takes are going to be law with me. On the contrary. Okay? On the contrary. Ultra Cowboy. The Eagles secondary's comedy. Yeah. Maybe. Let's start off very simple for guys like my friend LJ so he can comprehend it. Because, sometimes when you string like a take together, you kind of get upset with Big Sills, the national villain show of the year. So sometimes you guys get a little upset. I'm going to bury the lead on this question. Look at this guy. Oh, this can't. Where is that? Here we go. We hate you, but we love you. Oh. Jonathan, that's what my wife does. My wife. I've never met a person in my life I hated more than my wife. I've never met a person more in my life that I loved. Okay? That's marriage. Welcome to the group. Oh, man. Born and raised in Dallas, Oak Cliff. That's where my wife lived. The Cowboy fans aren't yapping out loud like they are in the comments. Hey, Vuna, that team's got that roster. That's the worst roster Dak has played with. Michael Jackson's birthday, great. And I liked him with the Jackson 5 when I was a kid. Other than that, and you would never catch me anywhere near Neverland. You might catch LJ near Neverland, but you wouldn't catch me near Neverland. How you doing? Yeah. Hey, by the way, I heard that LJ's the caretaker at Neverland. Right? Sills, you got to chill. I ain't chilling nothing, man. You don't come here for chilling. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me get my rum and coke going here. Woo! You got to get ready for Xander at 3:30 because he's got some messed up list here about overrated players like Jalen Hurts. I hope that he puts that at the top of the list, that he's an overrated guy. All right, let's go to the topics here. We're not going to say, boy, I got to tell you too, listen to Devontae and AJ. He makes all of you, no, not all, some of you look stupid. Some of you look stupid in how Xander thinks it's a 15-win team. Boy, I'll tell you what, you listen to AJ and Devontae today, they are right down the Big Sills lane. Right there in the center pin, baby. You got to put that little spin on that Voigt bowling ball, turns right in. Then pins just start flying. If you want to play duck pins, that's fine. Or you want to play bocce ball, we're good. anything you want. People around the country don't know what duck pins and dubacci is. Okay. That's a Northeast Italian deal. 13-4. There you go, baby. Get them expectations up. Fitting because Bradbury is a smooth criminal. Yeah, man. Hey, St. Laurent, let me say this to you. He didn't use a gun, did he, when he robbed the Eagles? This guy robbed the Eagles this year in 2024. This guy gets his paycheck like this. Hey, how about this? This guy gets his paycheck, James Bradbury, like this now. He's got his head down. How you doing? MVP? Absolutely not. Here we go. You think this roster is better than last year's roster? Think 2023 is better than last year's roster? Do you? Abe, where are you better? Where are you better than last year? All you guys are saying yes. Where are you better? Experience-wise, you have no experience on defense. Not true. Experience? You're better at running back? That's yet to be determined. He wasn't more productive last year than DeAndre Swift. Get this. DeAndre Swift was more productive last year than Barkley. He was healthier. So when you say that, he's not coming off of a more productive year. Swift was more productive. Wide receiver 3? Maybe. Okay? So you're coaching. Sidelines. Wide receiver 3, running back? I don't believe the running back yet. You're not better at. Where are you better at? Well, CJ, let's give him the benefit. Okay, you're better there. Youth is not better. Okay? Hey, Bob, I'm asking you this year, are you better than last year? Not asking you about 5 years from now. I'm asking you about right now. Get this. This is a projection. Last year, Barkley had 900 yards rushing. And last year, DeAndre Swift had almost 1,100 yards. That's not an accurate statement. You're better at linebacker? Look at this guy. He says you're better at linebacker and corner. You're not better at linebacker. You don't know that. And you're not better at corner. You're not better at corner. Quinyon Mitchell doesn't even start at the corner. You're assuming Isaiah Rodgers is better than Bradbury. You're assuming that, right? Okay. All to be determined. That's a political answer there. That, hey, Emmy, are you running for political office? I like this take. Hey, Sills, can't be worse. Okay. Hey, fair enough. Fair enough on that one. Okay. Eagles defense was getting old. Eventually, you have to replace these guys with young guys. You mean guys that have never played. Okay. It might take time for them to get to where they need to get to and meet their potential. Absolutely. Okay. Losing Kelsey and Fletcher Cox and Hassan Reddick, you're not better. Those are skilled players. You don't have anybody in. Look, I think Cam's going to be good, but he's not the skill set of Kelsey. And get this, Huff is not the same skill set as Reddick. You know why? Reddick has shown he's an NFL consistent pass rusher. That guy hasn't. And Fletcher Cox is one of the greatest defensive tackles and had a really nice ending to a career. You know how many players have 60 tackles and 6.5 sacks and call it a career? Like none. That guy still had 2 years of ball to play. Fletcher Cox could have played 2 more years. Maybe 1 at that level. He's a good freaking ball player, man. We overall have gotten better coaching-wise. With the addition of Vic, Clint, get this. That's not what Devontae and AJ said today. And Christian and Kellen. That's not what your star players said today. They didn't say that. They've gotten better coaching-wise. Wait till we listen to the transcript or we go through the transcript of what they said about their offense out of their own mouth. You know what's really great and what I love is that at the press conference today, the media was more excited about the offensive talent. And the players were downplaying it. They were downplaying it. It was like the media people have hyped you up thinking you're going to have a fourth. That's not how I got it from AJ and Devontae today. I thought they were brilliant, great. I thought they sounded like great teammates. The whole thing was spectacular. Coming from a guy that glorified Kansas City for getting younger. Kansas City sacrificed losses early on 2 years ago. They sacrificed it. They sacrificed it, Big Marshall. They didn't care if they won 10 or 11 games. Do you foresee our defense being bad, being dead last again, since all Vic can do is move your needle with his mouth? So how is he going to make them better? He's going to make them better by putting them in better positions to succeed. Like I said this yesterday, 34, you got to play Nolan Smith on third down only. Don't put him out there first and second down. He's not a first and second. He's not a 3-down guy yet. He's just not a 3-down guy. Okay? He's not. Put him in a position to succeed. Maybe Eagles don't believe in defense because their new NFL changes. Hey, Black Leo, you're not wrong there. You're not wrong there. But a lot of the teams that made the Final Four had pretty good defensive football teams. Niners, Lions, Ravens, Chiefs. Pretty good defenses, don't you think? Pretty good linebacker play too, actually. Get this here. I brought this up yesterday. Just rotate Nolan Smith. James, let me ask you this. If that guy got you, say you played him like Huff was played in New York. James, this goes directly to you. Say you gave him 460 snaps this year. Played him on third down, right? And he got you 10 sacks because you put him in a position to be a specialist in pass rushing. Would you be okay with the 30th pick then? I would. But if you put him out there trying to make him a 3-down guy and he has 1 sack or 2 sacks and he's constantly in and out of the lineup because of injuries, you ran the player off the roster, not using him correctly. Okay? Smith is still better than Huff against the run. They both stink. And they've both never done it. How can you say that Huff and Smith, as much as John McMullen talks about his success rate, the quarterback, you should ask John this question. What about his tackle rate and his cover rate? He was ranked last. Ask that rate. Here's another player that's not a 3-down guy. Hey, you could be a great pass rusher, but you're one-dimensional again. You're back to the same shit you were with Reddick. I mean, Nolan is a bust. He looks terrible. Charlie, that's why I'm saying you got to figure out how to get him in a position to succeed. Let me ask you something, too. Before we move on here's my overall thought. I think there's more question marks this year than there were a year ago. You won 11 games last year. You were 8th in the offense across the board. You got a home playoff game a year ago, and that was with coordinators you guys say sucked. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, if that's the floor, let's see them do it again. 11 more wins, higher ranked offense, and raising the defense and pass coverage from 31st to 15th? Okay. And finding new leaders on your football team. So let me ask you this. Before we move on, remember I told you that I said that Jalen Hurts was the most overrated player in pro football. That's my list. And players said Josh Allen. Let me ask you this. Who was the number one player voted on by NFL.com and the players? Who was the number one player? Do you guys remember? You guys remember who the number one player was? According to the NFL.com, who was the number one player voted on this year by NFL.com and all the players? Do you remember who it was? There you go. It was Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill was voted as the number one football player in the NFL. Keto. There you go, Frank. Ray, thank you. Well, let me ask you this. How in the world can the Kansas City Chiefs have gotten better the last 2 years by trading the best player in the NFL away? So the Chiefs traded the best player in the NFL away? That's got to be some sort of world record. So when you look at lists, be careful what you're saying. I mean, they traded the best player in the league away? Still, Vic is contradicting himself. How is his scheme going to put them in situations to succeed when he doesn't have the talent and they've gotten even worse? We'll talk more about that. Wait a minute. What am I full of shit about? This guy, get this. This guy's just said I'm full of shit when the Chiefs had just won 2 Super Bowls in a row without Hill. They traded the best player in the league away, according to the list. How can that be possible? Do you think Jalen Hurts could survive trading the best player on his team away? How in the world did the Chiefs get better by trading the best player in the NFL in the world away? How? And they're going for a three-peat. Sills, it's hard to find edge rushers that can cover. How are we supposed to find edge rushers that go with this scheme? Crosby, Watt, all don't cover. You know what they all have? What's Crosby have? He has a shitty team. He doesn't have to cover. Okay? Bosa doesn't have to cover. Why? Well, you got Dre Greenlaw and you got Fred Warner in there. Oh, okay. I got you, man. Thank you. Get this. Look at this. NFL is handing Chiefs a Super Bowl because Kansas City focuses on defense. Kansas City focuses on defense because you know why? They don't have to pay anybody on offense. Like I said, no matter what you do in Philly or San Francisco, that guy makes it impossible to beat him. You know why? His team will never change. Remember, what's the conversation that you have in Philly and San Fran? Money. There ain't no money conversations going on in Kansas City forever. They don't talk money. Chris Jones and Kelsey, the rest of them, you get what you get. And they get rid of the best player in the league. So how does Kansas City get rid of the best player in the league and the best cornerback, and here they are again, fighting for their 3rd straight Super Bowl? That's pretty remarkable. Our scheme makes it hard to find great pass rushers. Here's the thing in that scheme, in my opinion, Martin, for you to have a good defense, you've got to have guys get great pressure, and you've got to have at least decent linebacker play. Week 1, 2003 season, Chargers versus Miami shows Kellen Moore offense versus Vic's too high safety was awful on defense. Kellen's offense torched middle of the field. Hey, well, I wouldn't call that, Abe, like a really good go-to. Brian Johnson crushed Vic too last year. That game with Miami was never close. And by the way, people go, well, Miami was injured. Well, you're inexperienced. Injury, inexperience. I thought there were no excuses. No matter how bad the roster is, Vic's going to work his magic. I mean, they got crushed by the Eagles, and they got crushed by Brian Johnson's offense. Brett Veach, Andy, Steve Spagnuolo, Mahomes, and the culture's the key. Here, watch this. Where'd you say that? There it is. There it is. Nick Caserio, Bill Belichick, and Brady. No coincidence. When you have all those dynamics. Take a look at this, my friend. Howie Roseman. You got Nick. You got Vic. And you got Hurts. You don't have it all together here. Especially, get this, Brett Veach doesn't pick the roster for Andy. Andy picks the roster with Veach and Steve. In Philly, like we've said, it's a one-man show. It's a one-man show. Completely a one-man show, my friend. Right? One of my favorite guys, Bob. It was addition by subtraction. They moved the focus to the tight end where they had a real advantage attacking the linebackers and spreading the ball around. Absolutely. If you notice one thing about New England and also the same thing about Kansas City, they attack you from the tight end position and the slot. They don't attack you from the numbers. Andy wasn't attacking people from the numbers when he was in Philly. He attacked you from the slot, and he attacked you from tight ends. That's why in Philly, during his reign, the slot receiver always was a guy getting balls thrown to him, and the tight end always had 100 catches. He's moved it to Kansas City. They just got a better signal caller. Nothing's really changed in Andy Reid's approach to the game. Nothing has changed. He doesn't believe in throwing to the numbers. He believes that high percentage plays, going to tight ends and throwing out of the slot, he's going to move the sticks with a high-powered quarterback that he has. He keeps it simple. He doesn't try to complicate his offense like a John Gruden offense. That's why he's successful. He did the same shit in Philly. He did the same stuff in Philly. Sills, they don't need leaders. Remember, they get a pay. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Daniel. You're right. Howie is always going to put a premium on offense because of how little weapons Wentz had in 2020 that led to his demise. It's funny, man. I wrote down a comment about that, about Carson Wentz and about his time in Philly. And it was something that Howie said. And it was, I got to find that. I'll find it. I think it was somewhere in my notes. But no question about it. The inability to get a talent around Wentz, it hampered his career. Jalen, they weren't going to do that and go down that route again. They're going to give him every single bit of success weapons and try to make sure he's as successful as he possibly can. You know, they weren't going to rely on Wentz just to carry the football team that he did. Wentz carried the football team. Jalen's got a ton of talent around him. Okay? Ton of talent. And by the way, that's not a negative. I wish every quarterback had the same affordability that an owner would give so that you could put as much talent around him constructing really great deals. That's one of the great assets of the Eagles. That's not a rip. Hey, you're going to kill a guy for putting great talent around his quarterback? You can't do that. You know how many teams out there are jealous of the Eagles because they do that for their guy now? Well, it's the first time they've ever done it. MG3 goes, Wentz was lousy. Well, he won an MVP award. He's the only quarterback in your history that's thrown for $4,000. And he's the only quarterback that has thrown for 33 touchdowns in a single season. Let's see if Hurts gets to any of those numbers. Okay? Yeah. Well, he won the same MVP award that Jalen Hurts won, the Burt Bell Award, which is considered an MVP award. So he won the same award that Wentz won or Hurts won. Flexen. The Burt Bell Award is considered an MVP award. Okay? It's considered an MVP award. My uncle won it. I'm reaching. Let's take a look at that. I think maybe all the way up until maybe 1984, was it maybe considered? Let me see. Let's see here. Is the Burt Bell Award considered an MVP award? Yes. It's considered an MVP award. How you doing? We move on. Please hit the like button, guys. Thank you very much. Okay. Guys. Let me go here before we go into talking about the players. Actually, I want to go and I want to hit on the players first, and then we'll get to this other topic. Let's go to the players. I want to talk because I want to save that topic. All right. I was listening to some of the players today. Do me a favor, my friends. Please hit the like button. Okay. I was listening to Britton Covey. By the way, I really like Britton Covey. I do. He's cool with the Dotson play. By the way, he plays mostly in the slot. He said one of the things that has changed, you can tell that Jalen and the coaches have more confidence in him just by the way they're talking to him in practice. I loved hearing that. I liked it. He said Devontae and him talk a lot. I didn't realize how close of friends they were. I didn't realize that, how good they were and how close they've become. How about this, too, about Kellen Moore, what he said? Kellen Moore, he teaches you to be smart. Instead of just coming up with smart plays, he teaches you to be smart in game situation. I like it. It's good. I'll tell you something here, man. I love Fred Johnson. I absolutely love Fred Johnson and this guy's story. Boy, do I like him. He said this, man, my biggest issue has been mentality. I want you to hear something. This is more about Stoutland and his style of coaching. How great a coach he is. To hear it from the players talking and not Jordan Mailata or not Lane Johnson, but a player like Fred Johnson. I want to tell you why this is important. Because if you'll coach a guy like Fred Johnson like this, you coached Lane and Mailata like this. This is incredible of a recommendation by Fred Johnson on Jeff Stoutland. And I see why Micaiah Becton wants to play for him. I tell you what, of all the people that spoke today, it was more about Jeff Stoutland and how great a coach he is. What an absolute diamond the Eagles have at that O-line coach. Listen to this shit. He was asked about when Nick, singled him out saying, here's a guy that's just improved. His toughness, everything. He goes, yeah, it got back to me the next day. I had my worst practice possible. And he goes, it comes down to reality real quick in this league. He goes like this. He goes like this. Every single play, I have to be focused. I have to be dialed in on what I'm doing. And here comes the good stuff. He said that Jeff Stoutland is in his face when he's on the scout team. He's in his face coaching him every single day and every single rep and telling him and never letting him quit. And he says these exact words: I will not give up on you. I will not give up on you. And that kid, Fred Johnson, has taken that and basically Jeff Stoutland saved a career. He saved a career. I will not quit on you. He says he coaches him. Remember what I told you? Just with me, Jimmy Johnson screaming in my face, getting in my face about shit. Finally, I just said, and I looked at him, why the fuck are you always on my ass? Worry when I'm not, Dan. Then you got a problem, a real problem, a playing time problem, a roster problem. Okay. He says this, man. He just never quit working with him. 24/7. You got Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, Landon Dickerson. You had Isaac Seumalo, and you had Jason Kelsey. And he's taking time out of his day to coach dude that was on a practice squad a year ago. The same way he coaches, it just tells you what kind of character he has. Whether you're Lane Johnson or you're Jordan Mailata, Fred Johnson's going to get the same attention and the same coaching and the same details and the same technique training that those guys are getting. He's basically giving you the blueprint to success. I mean, it really, he says his technique is different than other O-line coaches. So you have to be massively focused. It was the most impressive press conference of the preseason so far. Talking about what a coach meant. He goes, man, I was almost out of the league. I didn't want to do it anymore. I'm paraphrasing that. He goes, but Stoutland grabbed me and he saved me. What a fucking great coach. What a great guy to play for. You see why those players love him now. Dude, that is a really great coach. Man, I'm proud to have had him at Miami now. What a great coach. You get the same coaching in the pros. You have to understand something. When you're like 15, 16 and you're a scout team guy, the frontline coaches like OCs and D-line and O-line coaches, they don't pay attention to you. They have like GAs and other guys that are lesser dudes, scout team coaches. They deal with you. You don't get the boss himself coming over going, hey, here's the technique you need to do here, while he's on scout team. Why? While he's on scout team. There's no question why the Eagles have been pretty much the best group the last 10, 15 years, or however long Jeff's been there. That guy's the best coach you've had in the building since Jimmy Johnson, when he was your D coordinator. He's the best coach since Jim Johnson as a position coach. That's an old school, real life coach that you could take Jeff. Here's why I love what I'm hearing with him. He could coach high school kids, and he would do it the same way. He could coach little tiny 8-year-olds all the way up to 20, all the way up to 22-year-olds. He could do all that. It doesn't matter how old you are. It just doesn't. It doesn't matter how old you are here. That's how great a coach he is. Remarkable. Enough with that. I can't get too crazy here, but wow. What a really great coach. Let me get to A.J. Brown. Man, pretty impressive today, all these guys. Steve Spagnuolo has 4 Super Bowl rings. That's awesome. And beat the GOAT. That's why the Chiefs' defense is so great every year. It carried them to a Super Bowl. Carried Eli Manning to that Super Bowl, too. Won that Super Bowl against that undefeated New England Patriots team. Okay? Really, really. I mean, I hope I didn't glaze over Jeff too much, but unbelievable. Here's A.J. Brown now. He loves the Dotson move. And he's loved him from the far. Watch him out as a route runner. Kid that's from PA. He says, he's going to really have a great impact and an opportunity here. I love how they're talking about him too. Devontae and AJ know his role and what his role is going to be. And he says he's going to have mismatches and an opportunity. You know what that was code for? Hey, you want to revitalize your career? You're going to get an opportunity to revitalize your career. And if you want to get out of the 3-hole label you're in now, Eagles are going to give you the best opportunity to do that. I don't know if he does it. But he's going to get that opportunity. Okay? Seals, did Jimmy ever send you to the asthma field? No, I was there for that, though. When he sent that tight end Clemson kid to the asthma, he goes, Coach, I got asthma. I was there for that. The asthma field's over there. It was on the other side of the fence. We're like, oh, good. So Jahan Dotson's going to get a chance to revitalize his career. And Flexen says not sold on Dotson. I'm with you. But Flexen, how about this? Flexen, do you agree? He's going to get an opportunity to change the narrative on his career. Do you agree? He's going to have mismatches. He's going to be in the 3-hole. And he's going to have an opportunity, right? Whether he does it or not, yet to be determined. Can he do it? I don't know. All you want as a player is opportunity. And he's going to get it. Okay? Yeah, he just says it here. He's going to have a great opportunity for him to be able to be that. AJ says, this is so great. I got to say something here. I might have to drop the moniker of AJ Owens because AJ Brown agrees with me and not with you. He was asked the question. I want you guys to listen to this because it's important. Xander, too, all of you, all your expectations? Listen to what AJ says. Hey, do you think this offense this year will be different than 23? He goes, time will tell. I don't know. I don't know that yet. This is only practice. I don't know. I have to get out there and see. I have no idea. That's not what the media is reporting. That's not how they're all excited about the offense. That's not what AJ's saying. AJ's in a position like I've been talking to you like. You know what that is? I want to see it. How come when the players talk like I do, you don't get on their shit for it? Get this. Look at here. Are you suggesting that AJ Brown? I shouldn't agree that AJ Brown is agreeing with me? He's agreeing with me. Oh, by the way, senor, that doesn't take the fact that I think he moans and cries. Okay? Listen what else he says about your upcoming season. Do you know it'll work? This new offense with Kellen. Here are his exact words. I don't know. That's camp. I have no idea if it's going to work. I don't know. We have to get everybody in the game. He's even telling you, I think he wanted to get some preseason snaps. He's even telling you, I don't know if it's going to work. Let's get everybody together. If you listen to every media guy in Philadelphia covering that team, that's not how they're talking. Hey, that's not how they're talking. Those are the players' words. How about this one? It does give us versatility having Dotson. And now all of us can play all three different positions. X, Y, Z slot. Okay, I mean, AJ Brown, I don't know if it's going to work. We haven't been in a game yet. That's only camp. No shit. And yet you have guys like ESP and people on our network and people on the radio letting you believe that the Eagles have had a phenomenal camp and that the players like AJ Brown and others are going, I don't know if it's going to work. You know why? They did what they were supposed to do. They were going against an outmatched defense the entire camp. Don't be fooled by this. You got to wait and see come September 6th. That's right. Hey, Maniac, you got to remember something. People in here are not going to like this, that AJ's talking like me here. Let's get to Devontae now. See what he had to say. Here's Devontae. He thinks it's a great addition. Adding Dotson. He's a great addition. Let me get to Devontae, Xander, and we'll do that. He said that the situation's going to determine what type of team and options we have. I don't know how it's going to look. We don't know yet. Get this. I disagree with M. Reyes. I don't think the players know what the capabilities are yet, because how could you? You haven't played. That's what A.J. Brown just said. He was asked, does he think this is a better offense than a year ago? He doesn't know. A.J. had a pretty fucking great year a year ago. And he also says that he's not sure because we haven't played a game yet. How do you know that? I'm echoing what A.J. Brown said. And I'm echoing what Devontae Smith is saying. Here. He says this. The version of the offense that we have right now, I'm not sure what it's going to look like when we get into game situations. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what the offense is going to look like. I have no idea. These are his words. Imagine that. You got A.J. Brown saying that. That's practice. I don't know what our offense is going to look like. And you got Devontae Smith saying, I don't know what it's going to look like yet. Boy, these guys got more of a tempered mentality about getting ready for a season, and they're level-headed. That's phenomenal. They're not ahead of themselves in any way whatsoever. And by the way, you could tell There's uncertainty in their own minds, not in their abilities, but in the offense. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith talking about their apprehension for their play? No. They're talking about their apprehension for the offense to work. They want to stop expectations? Is that what you're saying? Maybe a little bit, Jason, but I also happen to think it's to pump the brakes until you get to see it work. Guys, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. I really was impressed by A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith talking today. Get this. Here's another Devontae line. Not sure of practice. We'll see if it works. These are both A.J. Brown. Why are you so far ahead of it and you're so sure when the players want to wait and see if it works themselves? Get this. That's not what they're saying. A reporter asked the question, do you think this offense will be better than it was a year ago? I don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. That's what he said. Devontae, do you think this will work? I don't know. We have to get out there and play. There's nothing not being said. That's exactly what they said. Exactly what they said. Exactly what they said. That's exactly. Hey, by the way, see this? And Perez? That's why you don't like Big Sills talking like the players do. Shut up, because what? The players are telling you the same thing I'm telling you? Hey, by the way, see this here? My comments about A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith have nothing to do with me. Nothing. I don't know why guys like him and Mr. Perez make it about, it's nothing to do with me. Zero. What does that have to do with me? What in the world does that have to do with me? He's down here saying now, they're saying what they should say. Correct? Players are not going to give anything the benefit of the doubt ever until they see it work. They're not going to go here and go like this. Well, hell, you know, we got all these really fancy players, and it's going to work. Dream Team 1. Dream Team 1. Hey, how'd that Brooklyn Nets Dream Team work out? With Harden and Durant and Kyrie Irving on it. I mean, get this. How come Sil says that the defense is going to suck without watching it play out? Because I told you, you're inexperienced. You're going to suck at the beginning versus veteran quarterbacks and good talented quarterbacks and great play callers like Matt LaFleur early in the year. Even your coach, Vic Fangio, said, I'll tell you in 12 weeks how good we'll be. I don't know yet. We got a lot of new faces, new coaches. The whole thing is new. Do you know you change out every single position coach just about on defense, and you only change one out besides the coordinator on offense? You got massive turnover on defense, not only player-wise, but coaching staff-wise. And you think that's going to be a week one success? You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. I'll tell you this. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they get it. They know what's up. They know what's up. Okay? That's how you're supposed to be ready for a season. I'm not getting ahead of myself thinking this thing's going to be a grand slam. Let's see if the coordinators under pressure can, let's see if the coordinators can act under pressure with all this talent around them. Both sides. You don't know that. All right. Guys, do me a favor. We are so proud to have our great relationship with our friends at BetUS. You guys are looking for a brand new book. How about this, man? 125% bonuses on your first 3 deposits for up to $2,000 during this football season. I think, if I'm not mistaken, North Dakota State, Carson Wentz's team and Christian Watson's team take on Deion Sanders' Colorado team tonight. I think that's what the schedule is. And then you got those big games on Saturday, obviously. No question about it. 125% of your first 3 deposits of up to $2,000. Absolutely awesome. Plus 200% in crypto makes this one of the best sites there is for this coming football season. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365 days of the year. You are absolutely going to fall in love with them. betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. And do me a favor, tell them Big Sil sent you.
Michael Vick at betus.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.